Are we live? I think we are live. Hi, everybody. It's me, Mike, and Paxton is not quite here yet, but he will be really, really soon. And we have a guest tonight for our Mad LiberTEA time, Mr. Pink. Hi, Mr. Pink. How you doing today?
Good day. Doing great.
Nice to have you on. Today we have several things that we're going to talk about. Well, a few things that we're going to talk about. Mostly, we're going to start off with an update about the KY Fall Guy situation. I know that several people have been asking for one of these, and we've been kind of like dragging our heels on it. I haven't really been fully satisfied with what's going on, and we're going to get an update on that, and then we're gonna talk about some JoJo stuff. I know everybody likes the JoJo stuff. Um, and then we're gonna chill and talk about some various things that are going on and stuff that we feel like we need to talk about while we got our lovely guest here. Anyways, thank you guys for coming and stuff. And if you are here, although I only see one of you, hi, one of you. Oh, there's two of you. Hi. You guys make sure that you like and subscribe if you're not already subbed and stuff. Hope you guys are being safe out there and everything. Mr. Pink, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Mr. Pink, and I'm an advocate. I'm a foot soldier, and a little L, some might say. And I'm just here to put in work, not here for fame or fortune, but for liberty and freedom.
Heck yeah. I think that we can all get behind that kind of intro for sure. Like, I'm totally on that train as well. Speaking of trains and stuff like that, how about we get started on this whole kangaroo court crap that's going on over there?
Funny you mentioned kangaroo court. Let's get cracking. Okay, so we got to talk about the charge. The charge is Kentucky. That's KY, not the loose, not the lube cream there, but Kentucky. And 524.040, intimidating a participant in a legal process. Breonna Taylor, the lady that was shot 8 times in Louisville, Kentucky. They had 87 protesters showed up at Daniel Cameron's, the Attorney General's, and former partner of Frost Brown Todd, and that's the law firms. They were arrested. 87 people, cuff up, catched this charge, and that was on July 15th, and then July 17th, charges were dropped. 2 days. So just keep in mind that that's what Kentucky does. They hit people with this charge. Well, they do it for a reason, and that reason is to scoop people up, Portland, clear the streets, and silence. Shut it up. And we're seeing this over and over again. So let me just say that the Attorney General Criminal Investigation Department, Ed Price, wrote 4 sentences to Keith Taylor saying, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to help you out. And you're trying to use a criminal process in your civil case. Lo and behold, look who's doing what. The state of Kentucky has this criminal charge, one charge on Keith Taylor, and they put that on him on July 18th, 2019. Prior to that, and this is very important, I appreciate your time here, December 13th, 2018, if someone, we're going to keep names out for now, but they signed an affidavit saying Mr. Keith Taylor threatened them with songs off of Spotify. So that was an yes, welcome to Kentucky. Yep. So that's his threat, okay, and that's what's on the papers.
So and then hold on. I'm sorry. I just got to get that straight. they're claiming he threatened them because what did he send them some Spotify songs? Is that it?
Yes. Yes.
That's
Like
that's
Watch Your Back or, Peekaboo and all that kind of drama that they're just, but that's the beginning of the story. That's the beginning of the crises or the cover up or the corruption. They're going to hit you with threatened by song. And then when Mr. Taylor, this was on July 11th. I need a police report for the 20 million pounds of stolen hemp for the Oklahoma district attorney to get permission to test on the January 2019 tractor trailer traffic stop. So Mr. Taylor was trying to get permission to test the hot crop because he knew that his Fiber Nova and Ella Campagna, the true Italian strain hemp, was his shit. And then they came for him to scoop him up, shut him up, get him out of the way. So marshals, the United States Marshals showed up with a bullhorn on the 11th and called him out and cuffed him up. And then they transferred him to Van Nuys and then got into LA County Jail. Then on the 18th, he finally saw the indictment. Wait a second. You can't cuff somebody and then indict them. But nobody wants to investigate this. No one wants to dig in this because it's called a cover-up. And it's just sickening. And it's the haves versus the have-nots. So that's when the indictment came down. And then he was sitting in LA County Jail. And in September, they passed the 90 days of a governor's warrant. Andy Beshear, now the governor. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was months that he was in there, not just for like a few days or anything.
No, not a little overnight stay at all. So they went past the 90 days of a governor's warrant. So right there, Ben Crump, civil violation. And we're trying to get the ACLU, Southern California, looking into this, where Keith has photos and has showed up. They don't take walk-ins, but they know they've seen his face. So with that being said, just a couple more dates. In October 12th, he missed the public testimony in Washington, D.C. to allow farmers report on the Industrial Federal Hemp Pilot Program and Kentucky Department of Agriculture, what they were doing wrong. And he was to expose growing cannabis instead of hemp. So that is the Kentucky Cornbread Mafia that we know Mitchie Boy and James are all about. But nobody, they are too big to fall. And that's why we're doing this live podcast, to get the truth out and to see where the real patriots, to time to do some patriot shit, will start coming up. So December 12th, Mr. Taylor got released out on the street. No trial, no extradition to Kentucky, released like a dog out of a pound. Get hit. And then as of May 12th, Kentucky State Police reports an open records report, case still open. That's all they had to say. So that is an update on the charge that 87 protesters had their charge dropped in 2 days. But because Mr. Taylor is in hemp and he exposed illegal cannabis by elected officials, politicians, folks. This is why it doesn't get legalized. This is why K Street makes the money, in the lobbyists, in the lawyers make the money. So we need people to rise up and help. Do you have any thoughts on that there?
Well, I wanted to point out that, like, just so that people are aware, like if you're watching this for the first time, we'll put a link down to the original interview with Keith. But like, not only did this stuff disappear on him, but like it started showing back up again, and it was not in real good places. Like it was being used to traffic illegal marijuana. Now, I don't personally believe in a such thing as illegal marijuana, but the government does. And it just seems day in and day out, again and again, these motherfuckers are making up these rules they don't want to fucking follow.
It's the haves versus the have-nots. It's
Rules
not
for
about
thee,
being
but not
poor.
for me.
Yep. It's the haves, the elitists. And we are finally seeing it. It is cracking now. The elitists are being exposed for having their cake and eat it too. And we know how that one went.
Yeah. Well, what's next? Like, what are the next steps and stuff like that? Like from here, where are you guys gonna where are they gonna go with this?
Well, I would like to go on to my next part, being an update of the investigations. Okay?
That's what I
So,
was asking for. I'm sorry, I must have I
that's
worded
okay.
that funny.
All good. So, obstruction of justice is what we would say. 2 FBI agents said professional courtesy. So keep this in mind, that California, San Jose FBI have written 2 federal violations. 18208, and that is a public official collecting money, and 181031, and that is major fraud against the United States. So California, San Jose, Silicon Valley has sent that to Louisville, Kentucky. No open case, no investigation. They are sitting on it and covering it up. So that is Special Agent Robert James Brown. Special Agent Hannah has been in communication with Keith Taylor for over a year. And Special Agent Sean Miller. So I say their names because they are public employees. They are the ones to resign or be demoted or terminated, just like Spygate in Epic Times, and we'll get to that. But that's one thing. That's California trying to get Kentucky. We are now working on Tennessee FBI because of receiving stolen property at a processing plant in Tennessee. So we need to knock on their door and bring this before them and see if they do the same professional courtesy.
Right.
And then we have Oklahoma, and again, receiving stolen property, the 20 million pounds of hemp, and to get FBI Oklahoma City to be chirping at Louisville and say, come on, do something. You can't keep on covering this up forever. But it gets better. What we have been able to do, this is the update. We got to L. Stewart Platt, FBI OPR. They love their alphabet, boys. So that is Office of Professional Responsibility. That's who cracks the whip after the investigation of bad agents. So we got to Platt, and then Platt said you must speak to Douglas Leff, Leff. And he is the assistant director, and you can look him up on executive staff, and he is the assistant director of inspection division. So a package is being sent to Special Agent Leff, or Director Leff, and he already said this to Keith Taylor. How do you know they're not investigating? And it's a professional courtesy. So we know the games government plays.
Yeah,
okay?
The back and forth.
And that's exactly the runaround, the burn you down. So please know these names, and we'll have links and so forth. But that's where we are with the investigation. So we're cracking on. And so it is Leaf, it is Tennessee, Oklahoma, and once again, Kentucky needs to open an investigation. So within the next 2 weeks from this batshit shit storm we're taking on, we're going to see if they do indict or give some type of because they'll never say they're having an investigation. We understand that, but come on. Okay, so that is what we are doing.
I don't understand it. It's kind of dumb.
No, it's manipulative. That's
Right.
what it is. It's the haves controlling the cannabis and hemp markets, and it's all power, and it's the haves. So that is an update of the investigations.
In this situation, the have-nots don't even have the information. Like, the mainstream media will not touch this shit. Like, we cannot.
Exactly.
The last time they touched this shit, they were trying to pull on the scandal a little bit, pull a little clickbait, I guess. But it was like a little bit in the local, and we haven't heard anything. And this stuff is spanning across states now. And people have not said anything. No mainstream media whatsoever will pick this stuff up. They will not tell you people about this shit. So definitely we're going to have to freaking share this shit and get these conversations going on out there. And honestly, we'll put some information down below where if you don't like what's going on, you can write representatives in the areas and stuff and yell at them about it. We'll put that stuff down there too.
And we'll give you the fax numbers and electronic fax blast and so forth. And we will have contact with the teams, Keith Taylor's team, and anybody that wants to swarm, we'll show you and work with you to swarm. Anonymity, because we don't want you to catch a charge either. So that's why we do what we do. So if I may, now just share who's on notice, okay? Because now that Douglas Leaf has entered the game, we will see if he is blowing us off and covering up. So with the FBI, you have D.C., Kentucky, Tennessee, Oklahoma, California, 5 offices. And then you have Attorney General, Criminal Affairs. No, we won't investigate. So they're on record. And then we have California, Xavier Barisha. If I mispronounce that, sorry. But Xavier, we can't even get to the AG of California because it's an entire country out there. So if anybody lives in California and can help us get to Xavier and have him talk to Daniel, the Attorney General of Kentucky, and say, come on, man. So that is the FBI. Then moving forward, we have the lawyers on Keith's team. And I'm just doing a shout out because we really need people to really look at this. We went to Washington, D.C. Whistleblower Center, okay, WBC. And we got the directory. And we started calling and faxing and emailing attorneys that were in the directory saying, I am a whistleblower attorney. And 19 of them said pass. Okay? So just because your fancy little title is in a directory doesn't mean you got the balls or the guts to put in the fight. And so we do have one whistleblower attorney that WBC referenced. So that's a shout out to them saying they got off their duff. They took the information after they gave us the directory. And we're in talks. That's where we are. But then we have Bruce. We got 3 more. Bruce in California. Ben out in California. George Floyd's lawyer. All right. Family of George. So, Ben, we need you. Okay. And then Sam. And Sam is the attorney for Breonna Taylor's family. So, he has experience. He knows Kentucky. And he knows how nasty it is. The shooter got a job in Cincinnati, Ohio. So that's how jacked up Kentucky is. So that is the lawyers. And then I have the politicians, the media, and the think tanks. But are there any questions about the FBI or the lawyers?
Uh, Not off the top of my head. That's quite a freaking spread of lawyers, though.
You have to. You got to dial them up, and you just got to have a team. Remember OJ, right? You know, that's California for you. It's a litigious team. America is a sick, litigious country. And the lawyers are afraid of the political powers behind all of this. And K Street doesn't want this to come out. All your little nonprofits and, free the weed and all that stuff. Okay, so Caroline Maloney is the majority oversight in reform. We have contacted her. We need your help, Caroline. We contacted Sherman over a year ago, and they are still no word back from USDA or USGA, Department of Ag. Adam Schiff, he's intelligence. The Chinese are involved, folks. We've said that. Listen to the video. The Chinese are rotting America within. And Adam Schiff is not doing anything. And he wears that intelligence title. But he likes to impeach. But he needs to jump on HMI, China. And then we have James Coomer, who just got minority oversight and reform. James needs to talk to Caroline and clean house in his own state of Kentucky. You got the fox guarding the hen house, some might say. Some might say, James, respond. Do your job. And then we're just trying to expose the abuse of power. And then with the entertainment or the media, Epic Times.
Let me pull.
Sorry.
Welcome, Paxton. All right, now keep going with the media.
Okay. Epic Times, Keith Taylor went there, met Miss Carroll, took pictures, pointed out the resign, the demote chart that they have, but they're a conservative newspaper, so they won't report on Mitch and James. We called them out like liars and thieves and just children. So that Chinese newspaper, you know, DC, New York, we calling you out. Get it together. Do the right thing. And then we have the marijuana movement. Also High Times. We've been asking them to step up. Wisconsin, Canna, and Hemp. Natasha, respond. We need you. You're a good writer. And then last, Kentucky Center for Investigative Reporting. Ralph told us he won't get involved because of the charge. We don't work with criminals. You got to get that charge put away. That's why I leaded off this talk with the charge. Because media, lawyers, civil lawyers won't touch Keith Taylor because of the charge. But the charge got dropped in 2 days. So come on now. And then the think tanks. We have approached Stanford University, where Keith was an economics graduate. They can't help him. We wanted to call for papers of the illegal cannabis and hemp cover-ups. The Brookings Institute, Pew Research, RAND, Cato, and APCO. All 6 or all 5 of these think tanks. What are you doing with the money? We bring you the most important research paper in history, and that is why cannabis is not legalized. It's because of the elected officials profiting. Do the work. So there you go. That's where we are on letting people know the on notice. And I hope we can swarm them. We can poke at them. We can do whatever. But we won't rest until indictments. Any questions?
if any of you guys are out there and you think this shit is crap and you want to do something to help, you can get down in our links below and try and like just reach out to us. We have a Discord, Facebook server. We have lots of social media. Just DM us or drop us a line at us. We will definitely check it. We're pretty good about that stuff. Hell, we've got a Facebook page. Some of you guys are watching on there right now. We've got we've got a MeWe. We've got all sorts of stuff. You'll find us. We will talk to you, and we'll get you involved in some of these forms that we want to help do. We'll get you information on people you can contact to try and help. Um, we'll get you hooked up. We could always use the help for some more good work in the good fight. So definitely don't be shy. We will talk to you. Don't feel like, oh, I don't know how to do this. We'll teach you. And looks like Faxon has come to join us now. Glad that you're back. Glad you're here, dude. Um, questions. Let's see. I was going to ask about I wanted to bring this part up because it really bugged the hell out of me, and it was something that happened in between. At one point, did they get him an FBI agent to actually do an investigation, and then suddenly it was dropped, and the guy was sent to another country?
That's Special Agent TJ Hannah. It's the games that the Bureau plays, and don't get me started in calling into the Bureau. America, they don't work for us. They do what they do. So they literally said Hannah went to Thailand, but then Hannah's back. We emailed him and he was out on a
Oh,
Friday
they're
and back on
back.
a Monday.
I didn't
Oh
know
yeah,
they were back already.
yes,
Oh my
back.
god. And they're still
It
not
was a
doing their job though?
it,
Like
exactly. No charge, no open investigation. That is the problem with Hannah, Miller, Brown, and that is all the Kentucky. So that's why we need to bring in Tennessee, Oklahoma, in Leaf, the head guy to bust bad FBI agents. No worky, don't do your job, internal affairs. But Leaf says, professional courtesy. How do you know they're not doing an investigation? No indictments. And in SUVs and helicopters are buzzing around Keith Taylor's house. And he's been on the lam several times. And so forth. So until that nonsense stops, and the bad guys get picked up, not the whistleblower. Where is
right,
the whistleblower federal protection? Cowards. That's your government. Just cowards. And it's the people that have power, the elected officials, do not want this story broken. It is being broken. And thank you, Mad LiberTEA Party, for your freedom in the stones to get this story out over and over again.
Well, and thanks to all the people who have been watching and helping us out because they're the real stars helping us share this stuff and helping us get it out there so that people can see it. Um, Obviously, I'm gonna ask you guys to share this too because we've got to get this out. The media, the mainstream media won't touch it, and they think that they can just push this by without any investigations, and people will never know. We have to let them know that we saw it. We have to do something to let them know that it can't just be over. It can't just be overturned and nobody will notice. I hate to be the black pill doomer of the group, but I'm kind of I don't know what good that's gonna do at this point because they don't seem to fucking care either goddamn way anymore.
Pressure, numbers, bodies. We just need to keep on ground and pound. This is a fight for legal cannabis. Let's call it what it is. This is a fight for cannabis. They think broke stoners can't do anything. So this is a challenge. We're calling them out and we're rising up. We are building a protest investigative journalist army. And we are the new media because old media is liars. They have failed us. And that's what we need to do.
Yeah. Do you have any questions, Faxon? I don't know if you.
I'm just enjoying what y'all have to say. Fuck the media. It's good. Speaking of which, go to fucking BitChute. Like, everybody that's on Facebook and YouTube, you need to use BitChute. Oh, but Paxton, the buttons are... Get used to it. There's going to be a lot of changes coming up. There's a lot of people that don't want people like us talking about these type of things. And they're going to start coming after people. But Paxton, that's scary. Get scared and go to a place that you can be safe, like BitChute, like Brave, like Ecosia, like Element. All of these places are places where you can talk safely and freely. Speaking of which, our Brave link is below. If you want to help out the channel without even having to spend money, we get money if you go through the link, and that helps the cause. All the money that we get from that goes directly back into the show. So help support new media, help support the truth, help support the fight against tyranny and authoritarianism. Go to our link or buy a shirt from our website.
Yes, I made a brand new "Fuck the Police" t-shirts, tank tops. You should go check them out. Aside from that, like, holy shit, was there
Ready
anything
to
else?
Hajj?
Yeah. That stuff, the stuff with Thekeith just drives me nuts. I can't believe that we've been talking about this for almost like, how long has it been now? It's not been a year, has it?
33 weeks. 33 weeks is when I brought this to your table.
Ooh,
33 weeks.
time flies.
Dock it
when
and clock
you're
it.
deeply frustrated, I suppose.
But we got to leave, and we'll see if the top dog, Google that, or we'll show you the link. And Operator 20 says he doesn't work at the FBI headquarters. 7 times we got shut out. But we didn't give up, folks. You don't give up. Try
No, you have to
again.
keep doing it. Well, I mean, Mike Cernovich, how long did it take for him to? How long was he pushing before the Epstein shit flipped over? Like, that was a long time, and it was a lot of frustration and stuff. I mean, we're just gonna have to keep pushing with this too.
Yes.
It'll be a lot more helpful if you guys get on that train and help us push, but we'll do everything that we can, every one of us. Until then, I guess there's not much else left to do other than to move on and talk about Joe a little bit. Haven't you? You've been to some of the different Joe Bus gatherings, right? Like, you've
Of
seen him
course. You got to get your ass out of the gamer chair, and you got to support and you got to represent.
Before we go into the Hajj thing, would you tell us a little bit about what's been going on along the road that you've seen and how Joe's doing? Like, how are the speeches? Because I'm concerned that they're, like, she seems, and I don't like trash talking or anything like that, and that's not what I mean.
Then
But
stop.
she does seem
Then
a little slow.
No,
Like, not
her speech was good.
Her stuff
Real
is real
quick.
good.
I just want to
Yes,
say I made a Facebook account and instantly got banned.
Are you serious?
Like, literally, I created the account and banned.
How did that
BitChute.
happen?
I don't know. Maybe because I put my gender down as Igloo.
Jackson, you're a bad person.
Yeah. And they want me to use my phone number. I don't want to use my phone number. I don't want to give you any of this stuff.
Useless. Okay. Tell us about the Joe train, or the Joe bus. I'm
The bus.
sorry, Joe train.
No problem. It was a good gathering, and it was in around. Well, let's just say it was a good gathering, and it was the anarcho or the self-governing anarchists showed up. So that was a surprise, but they were there. They represent. And the people, very intelligent people in the crowd, fighting for liberty and messing with property rights and so forth. Had a great conversation with one man who was beating on, was just protecting his property and driving the establishment crazy. Wiretapping, you know, he had, you can't video certain people at certain places and try to get them on the phones. He has wiretapping charges on other people. You know, do not touch, do not take. Don't take my image. Don't try to threaten me with video, or you're going to get wiretapping. So that's what I learned there. You learn stuff when you walk the crowd. But this is the thing. A lot of people say libertarians are introverts and you know, don't bother me, I won't bother you. And you gotta just say, hey, this is who I am. The crowd was great. The crowd was great. The speeches. Well, let's talk about them. The speeches were good. It wasn't vanilla. She told story that meant something, and
So
she
it was
wasn't
relatable.
just definitely. And I've been working to get a copy of it and so forth. And I would say
I'd love a
that's
copy of it.
get a copy of it. And Jessie from Duke Street. You know who Jessie from Duke Street is. She's the marketing lady for the LP. She was there and so forth and such. So, you know, we can get a copy of the speeches. And Erica, the running for governor of West Virginia, was at that one stall and so forth. So, yeah, it was in Martinsburg and in the Eastern Panhandle. The first COVID case was started in Martinsburg.
Oh, God.
Dirty birds. But it was a good turnout. And why we're going to be talking about the Hajj next is to get people fired up and for people to understand how we need to go against media and get going. But I really enjoyed the bus tour, the bus stop, and she really put on a meaningful speech. And it wasn't just talking points. She had Department of Education. She lit into Carter. You know, we don't need Department of Ed. Keep it between teachers and parents and the child, not bureaucrats, not administrators. We are bleeding to death with taxation money for Goose, Common Core. Can't even do math anymore. Can't even do cursive anymore. You know, come on now. You're not growing. You're turning into sheep. That's what they want you to do, folks. You're seeing it before your eyes. We're turning into sheep. We can't even function anymore. But other than that, it was rosy.
I heard that at Oklahoma they had some odd like 300 people show up, which sounds like a real nice show. And I mean, we had a nice little motorcade about it, but I hear like they're still trying to get the bus to come here, which would be really exciting.
The important thing to take away from that number is a large portion of those people that came to that rally weren't registered libertarians.
Ooh,
It
really?
really shows the interest in the Libertarian Party, and I would argue the inefficiency of recruiting people and letting people know that the LP is even a thing. A lot of people out there don't even know that the LP is a thing. I mean, I remember growing up, I had no idea that there was a third choice. I had always heard Republicans and I had always heard Democrats. I had no idea.
Well, they're
that the
always
LP
saying that you only have two choices. They won't even say that there are more choices.
Mhm.
Like, so no wonder people are growing up not knowing that there are all these other choices.
And I know that the LP is trying harder at that. But I mean, there's just got to be better ways. And one thing that has especially moved me away from the LP and more into anarcho roots is just the inactivity of it all. I see a whole bunch of voting on things, a bunch of flipping coins, and a bunch of talking about things, and I don't see a lot of boots like actually moving around and doing things.
Slapping the pavement.
It seems to be on a very individual level. I mean, like during the COVID stuff, whenever it was at its peak, we were trying to get a list of people that were in the Libertarian Party just to send out emails or letters or something like that, just making sure that they're okay, and making sure that they didn't need anything, because we had heard other churches and things like that were doing that type of thing. And we want to try to, and at least in my mind, you want to try to inspire that sense of community. But we couldn't even get that type of thing done. We couldn't check on the wellness of our own members, and it's super frustrating. I'm tired of the bureaucracy. I've realized that if you want something done, you have to do it your fucking self. And I think that's what anarchy is all about.
Oh God, you said the A word like 5 times. We're demonetized.
Yeah. Plastic guns, they're going to genders. Black Lives Matter is likely a terrorist group, and Japan deserves.
Oh God, he did the whole list. We're doomed.
But yeah, I mean, it really just shows that there's so many people that are tired of both sides, and they're not even aware really that there's another option. I think a lot of people are dipping their toes into the liberty at that meeting, and I think it goes to show that the pool of people that want an additional option are massive, and we've just got to tap into it.
That's like exactly what I was saying earlier this weekend when we were having like our little county meeting. I was like, man, there's so many people out there right now who are so receptive. We should be going to like other groups meetings and just fucking talking to people. But so like you have, speaking of ways to do some like outreach and interesting stuff, you have an idea, don't you, Mr. P?
Yes. Thank you.
Why don't you take this moment and explain this? Because I think this sounds really cool.
Thank you. If I could, I'd like to go over the 5 W's of reporting, okay? Because this will allow me to give you all the information and then bang it out and go with questions and thoughts afterwards, okay? So with that, we want to Hajj Fox News Dallas for Joe. Hajj is the religious event in Mecca where they march around the orb. So with the time of COVID, with the time of social distancing, we are not static. We are liquid. We are fluid motion. And therefore, we go around Griffin Street. And that's where the Fox News studio is. So what we are doing is we're calling out Fox News, fair and balanced, and demanding that they host a debate between Donald and Joe. And it can be remote because they have all this technology. So shut it up. Do it. Put in the work and Hajj on them. Because through the ring roads, first ring, 300 people show up, keep social distancing, then create another ring road, then a third ring road. And we will play the game that the blue and red want us to play. We'll be masked up. We will have the distancing, but you will not shut us up. We can drive our cars around, and it was a great thing with the caravan. But this plan, this action is hashtag call them out. Then, just to understand why Dallas, why Texas, why land of the free, is Kennedy was killed at 411. There's the ring road. So when people say the coppers come in and they say you're too many, well, just Hajj a bigger circle and Hajj another circle. Okay, in China, that's Shanghai. They have 3 beltways. They're so busy. So, we're just taking from one to the other. We will not be silenced. Okay. So that's very important that it is a liquid fluid march where we'll be praying. It will be chanting. We'll be singing and so forth. And we are putting pressure on Fox News, Dallas, because we know Fox News, New York, doesn't care. Blind. They will not respond. Fox News, Los Angeles will not talk to us. But we are giving Fox News Dallas the chance to be human again. Make America great again and all that. Media, be human again. Okay? So then that's Griffin Street that we were talking about. But another place to Hajj in Dallas is Elm Street. and that's where Kennedy was killed. In Fox News' own reporter, Kennedy, the MTV VJ, says, "Oh, we should have JoJo debate." So come on, we're calling you out, Kennedy. We want you to be the host. So that's what, okay, the Hajj. It is a walk around for 1 hour, and then from that on a Saturday, because we have jobs, we have bills to pay. And then with the COVID, we're playing the game. We know the objections. Then go to the parks of Dallas and have 5 group meetups, etc. So anybody is welcome to the Hajj. And we would then swarm on the Texas LP, the LNC, the LP for support. That's how we're going to get this message out. Plus, we're going to invite the GOP Texas in the GOP. So we are calling out Red, saying, why won't you debate JoJo? And it's when we start going after this tag team effort in demanding this and calling them out over and over again, we will get action. When a Saturday, we're looking the end of August or the beginning of September. We only have 3 months to go before this election. This will be the first year where we don't have a presidential debate on an election cycle. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. We need to demand to hear Mushmouth and Pussy Grabber. Okay? Come on now. We are not children. We are adults and we are voters. And anytime I don't see a debate scheduled remotely, it makes me mad. And hence, we Hajj, okay? And this is no disrespect to Islam. This is paying a compliment. And if the blue or red tried to disrespect our efforts by us throwing a compliment to our Islamic brothers, shame on you. Breaking the fourth wall. You've been called out on that as well. So I just want to make that clear, okay? And then where, Dallas, how, pre-planning, swarm, letting people know this, why, okay? I think I went over it, so, and I'm a little passionate about this.
You mean like a social media swarms and stuff like that?
Well, more so phone, fax, email, okay? That's how the media, live. And when we jam up their lines and just say, how dare you? Break out the Greta voice. How dare you not host a debate? We're not children. You're savages, and we will not put this down. So, yeah, social media. But the key thing is we Hajj. We physically march around Elm Street and Griffin Street. And then that is one time. But then just imagine that if they don't give us the debate, we Hajj again in larger numbers. So that's the thing is that's the idea. The caravan was nice. All 50 states were included. Great. But we didn't call out one news agency, one large news agency. And if they're fair and balanced, show us. Right? So and Kennedy wants it. So let's have Kennedy fulfill her journalistic dream of being the host and letting this happen. So that is what Hajj is all about. And there will be instructions, but this video is to get people talking about it. Wait a second, Dallas, March, social distancing, and making people aware that we demand a debate, and enough is enough. And so forth. So we are singling out one major player, and we know MSN and CNN aren't going to do this. Oh, a shout out. Yeah. The Solutionary Summit, Atlanta, 9/12. Okay, Maj Teru is yes. Yeah, Solutionary Summit. Okay, so and here's the catch. Alan West is the chair of the Texas GOP. Hi, Alan. You're going to be in Atlanta. So you've been called out saying, yeah, we do need to debate, Joe. It's time. So that's the magic of this, folks. That's the power of this. He's going into Atlanta and talking about, being a solutionary. Well, let JoJo speak with Donald. Thank you. Okay. And it's that calling out that you will not see on blue media. And that's why we have this
You won't
stage
see it
here,
on any, yeah.
When was the last
Well,
time we
that's
had
why-
a libertarian with president? Like in the presidential debate?
I don't believe it's ever
Gary
happened.
Johnson. Well, they've had other debates. Like I remember Ron Paul being up there during the presidential elections in like 2012, 2008, stuff like that. But I don't remember Gary Johnson being up there.
As an independent, they played party games. They did.
Yeah.
Ross Perot was Silver Fox. He was an independent. So technically, he didn't belong to a party. He was independent, and that's how he got the push. And they changed the rules. That's the thing you'll read on all the blogs. Fuck the rules. Just enough. The lawyers, back again to Keith Taylor, the lawyers control us like slaves. So we must go ahead in Hajj and demand this and just say, it's 2020, bitch. It's called technology. You want to twat, you want to tweet, you want to stream? Okay, we can do this. To hell with your little silly rules. Call it the Independent Funk Fest. I don't care, but you got to show up. So
the problem
that's
is
where
that
we go.
people like rules. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've had conversations with about like people that supposedly hate the police, but the moment whenever things hit the fan, they call the police.
Oh yeah, they're like ACAB. Oh my God, cops! They pushed me.
Yeah. The moment that something bad happens, the first number that they're calling is 911. People are very bad at situations that don't have rules. And why are they bad at that in those situations without rules and laws and chain of command? Because that's exactly what they teach them from an early age in elementary. It's all fucking brainwashing. They don't want you to think as an individual. They want you to think as a unit. They want you to think of someone that has to ask for permission for everything. Don't you fucking breathe? Don't you fucking talk to anyone? Don't you even fucking go to the bathroom without asking for my permission? It's absolutely ridiculous. We need to start an education system, and this is why I'm so desperate for the fucking Libertarian Party to get off their asses and start aggressively pushing this homeschool agenda that they need to be fucking hitting home right now, especially with the COVID stuff. They need to take advantage of COVID because it's showing people how inefficient the government is, especially with the public school systems. But with homeschooling, we have an opportunity, a unique opportunity that I never in my lifetime would have imagined that we would get this level of potential homeschooling to happen. And we have an opportunity to actually teach our kids to be individuals. We have an opportunity to teach our kids the things we want them to know, the things that they need to know as adults, as functioning people in a part of society, the things that the school systems aren't even remotely going to teach them. They're going to teach them how to fucking do 2 + 2, and they're going to teach them that I can never fucking say it right. The fucking powerhouse of the cell,
Mitochondria.
Yeah, is the powerhouse of the cell. What good is that doing to me? Most people don't know how to fucking balance a checkbook. How do you start a business? How do you get a life where you're actually enjoying yourself? How do you handle yourself in a life and death situation? How do you take care of your family? These are things that we need to be teaching our children, our offspring, our futures, and instead we're handing them off to the state and just expecting them to handle things because it's a little hard for us to fucking teach our children. It's a little hard for us to be parents acting as parents. It's time to take back responsibility. It's time to fucking put our big boy pants and panties on and act like parents. Our whole job, our whole mission is to guide the future with our offspring. They are going to be here and teach the next offspring. We have to make sure that they're more prepared than what we were ever prepared for. So we've really got to fucking step it up here. We've got to get this homeschooling down. At the very least, we have to push for more private schooling.
I mean, yeah, we've got these school pod schooling going on here in Arkansas that I'm really interested in, which is like
I've seen them pop up in Oklahoma too.
I posted some stuff about it across social media talking about it. I thought it was really neat because like it sounds like something that we were talking about with Dan when he was on the first time, and we were asking him about his solutions for like schooling and stuff. Um, I'm like, oh, this stuff is great. I'm glad that they're actually doing it. But I mean, like, there's not going to be any way for these people to be able to change things stuck in this duopoly like this.
Hmm.
Um, as it is, like, the people that would make the changes are not even getting any attention.
I mean, I can't
Honestly,
even
at this
imagine.
point, like, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, fuck waiting on politicians to step in and make the changes. We're gonna have to actually make the changes in our own lives and then just like go with it from there.
Well, the whole thing is that we have to show people examples. We have a whole fucking society built on the laws of Democrats and Republicans, and all of their laws are there to do is control and make people obey. So we have to show people that if you stop listening to a fucking sign, it's not going to be the end of the world. We have to show people that just because they fucking made a law, put it on a fucking piece of paper, it's not going to be the end of the world if you stop listening to it. If is it whom is it hurting? Who or whom
Push the
is it hurting
boundaries.
that whenever I have chickens in my backyard illegally that lay eggs, and I take said eggs and distribute them out to my neighbors so they can have fresh organic eggs that know where they've been, know how they've come, and know that these chickens aren't suffering. Who is that hurting? You know exactly who it's hurting? It's hurting the big market people that are throwing billions of dollars into the politicians to limit small neighborhoods doing this type of thing. They don't want you to be an individual. They want you to rely on them, and they're doing everything in their power to do so.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
business and government are hand in hand. Government, big businesses that are working with the government aren't real capitalism. It's fucking crony capitalism. It's people abusing the system. Capitalism is inherently good. It's designed to make it to where these people that are taking from society and giving good products to society to return their profits back to society and make things like libraries and education systems and stuff like that. I mean, there's fucking places in Germany of some of the richest people that ever lived back in the 14 and 1500s that were so fucking wealthy that they made these free living centers that you only have to pay for like your water bill or something like that. And it's incredibly cheap. And they did that hundreds of years ago. It's okay to be generous and rich. And we've kind of moved away from that. And it doesn't help whenever we demonize capitalism as a whole. What incentive does that give capitalists? You also have to think about all the good they are doing. People talk about Jeff Bezos all the time about how much wealth he has. He's donated billions. That's more than you're going to see in your entire lifetime. That's probably going to be more than your entire generational span is going to see as far as wealth goes. Billions can literally make and break a governmental budget. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
He's not in exactly the devil. Bill Gates, however, is the devil.
Is the devil. And I love Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is good. He's basically
Okay, I don't love him, but I do like him.
I'd sleep with him.
He's got a mad mean game. I'd probably sleep with him too. He's got powerful eyebrows.
He can give me that rocket, I tell you what.
Oh my. But I mean, honestly, like, as long as we have this duopoly in place like it is, and people are not pushing those boundaries to change rules that they don't like honestly, like, at this point, like, we've let it go for so far. We've like fallen into such a lose.
So
I
you just
just-
said it very well. If I may, push. The Hajj is for us to push. And it is letting everybody know that we can push for a debate and we can push for this remoteness and to be heard and to break away from the sheep mentality. So,
Right.
yes, we need to push.
So-
Now
but
is
don't-
the time to push.
But don't just show up and feel like stomping your feet is going to help. You have to actually get involved and stick around after that. You have to do things. Like, I see people come out to protests and they just do the protest and they go home feeling like they've changed the fucking world. And that's not how it fucking works.
Well, we know about the Liberty Squads and we know about 3142 as Paxton brought up about, more private schools or homeschooling, 3142. That's how many counties, parishes, and boroughs are in America. Localize it. Larry, Larry Sharp pushes localize, treat regulated like onion and localize. So that's what we need to do, folks, is we need to end the Fed and Department of Ed and get it local. And it's when people don't allow us to do that, vote them out, take them out. That is the push between the haves and the have-nots. And all us have-nots, it's not we're poor, we're stupid, we're not educated. We just don't have the lawyers that and the corporatism and the laws that are suffocating us, that are preventing us. And we are conditioned, propaganda, brainwashed, not to fight. And America and our generation's children are suffering because of that, because we allowed it to go this far. This year, 2020, JoJo, she's the woman to go ahead and to get the debate, to get those numbers up. And yes, we need to do better with LP and Duke Street. And it's not about big L's and titles. Put in work. We got to see more work being done and less ass kissing and butt slapping, So I totally see that if we can push that agenda and talk that narrative, people will finally, get out of their gamer chair and get out of their house and Hajj. And that's why we're trying to get this event. And then at the park, after the Hajj is over, we're only marching for an hour. That's it. But then at the park, you start doing pop-ups like DC, and hey, I want to do this with farming, or I want to do this with education. And people just pop up a table and bring their ideas freely and allow people to share ideas. I want to teach Krav Maga or BJJ or Tomahawk work, etc. That's what should happen, but we got to first talk about it and hopefully get this message out. Okay, let's Hajj. And then what does the park, since we can't have live music and concerts right now and so forth, just do pop-up tables like we're selling weed in DC, and so forth. But we're selling liberty. We're selling ideas, but it's free because we're human beings talking to one another. If that makes any sense.
And if it eventually people get tired of trying to make change in a system that's not really made for change, in a place where they make new rules to keep you from changing the ones that are wrong, maybe give it a shot by just freaking saying no at this point. To be honest, there's so many people who are upset about the way things are going in this world and in this nation, and they're already just saying no and breaking the laws and breaking the rules and shit. Consider maybe if you do try and it fails, joining them. At this point, I guess I'm black-pilled on the system. I don't know. I want to help people try to change things if that's what's going on. But honestly, I don't know if we can change things anymore. I think that it may have gone too far. I think that I don't think that we can. I don't know if we can. But I guess it's worth a shot.
Let's get some. Well, yeah, you got to try.
Yeah, if I can pull it together, I'll try and get out there. It's not that far. It's 6 hours from here. I'll get out there and try and live stream the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, just once we get indictments, people need evidence. That's what, I'm hearing, and people need examples. So, we start locking up some politicians and really getting mandatory minimums on them. They want to hit us with cannabis charges and all this stuff. Let's really go after white collar crime and political crime and, public corruption and tar and feather them like the old days. Okay. And then all this ballot stuff and all this fraud. Yes. Red and blue are doing, ballot fraud. It's in the papers. It's out there. And if you're honest, just be honest. Vote for who you want to vote for, but don't try to cook the books. But that, like you're saying, yes, it's getting ugly, and we're searching for indictments, and we're searching for unity in this Hajj. And if we can all, circle around Fox News and shake them to their core, and we have, the names and the numbers and the emails and the faxes, and, call them out. That's what really the next 3 months are going to be, folks. August, September, October. Call them out on it, and really demand voice and the ability to have this remote debate between policies, not personalities. And I know, we really need to get the policies out there, and the people will vote for policies. Because the days of personalities, look where we got with that. We got, this shitstorm, and, Red and Blue are duking it out, and everybody's losing jobs, losing wealth, and losing their mind. It's a lot of suicides and a lot of addictions because of an election. Come on now.
Well, I mean, and at this point, the Red and the Blue are both completely against the liberty movement at this point. Both of their nominees have spoken out against anarchists, and they're saying that, like, anti-government people are dangerous and shit like that. It's absolutely crazy. They are absolutely crazy. It's like Red and Blue have suddenly turned on everything it is to be an American, to live as a free individual. And it's sick. It's just sick. I can't understand why anyone could choose between one of them and say that either of them are the lesser of two evils at this point. And now we have Kamala Harris in there. Like, holy shit. I thought that the left really hated cops right now. I thought that they were that they were tired of all of this mistreating of the minorities and everything like that. Oh no, wait. Let's suddenly, oh no, wait. Now we have to support this fucking woman.
To be fair, I think it disfranchised a lot of fucking people on the left.
I sure as fuck hope so.
A lot.
I sure as fuck hope so. Because there are a lot of people out there that are saying, doing that whole blue even who. I saw somebody pull a Nick Sarwark over it. It was hilarious. Because they got a lot of shit.
What Kamala Harris is to Joe Biden is essentially trying to pull people from the middle. It's his way of him being the extreme left or relatively extreme left, and then Kamala Harris being so pro-law and I guess pro-abortion or some shit.
Liquor bitch
is trying desperately to claw people in the middle. But it's a shitty strategy. Like, it's an absolutely shitty strategy. Like the police angle, trying to get people that support the police. Like Trump already has those people. His whole deal is law and order. You can see that now.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely the worst thing. And I think the funny thing about it is Biden didn't even seem excited about it. It seemed like they were desperately trying to get someone else as a VP pick. And they ended up
he doesn't like the way her hair smells.
Yeah, there's definitely that. But the whole deal is, I think they literally just ran out of options because no one wanted to run with Dementia Joe, and they ended up with just hitting the check marks or the check boxes rather of a black person that is also a female.
I thought she was Indian.
Her father's Jamaican and her mother's Indian, so she's half. Yep, Jamaican and Indian and Asian. Let's just say that's what the major media is saying. We now have our first Asian, running mate, and Indian and so forth. It's a skin game. Let's just call it what it is. They're playing the skin game, and they are still acting like
it's fucking racist.
Divide and rule. It's divide and rule.
The only ethnicity that I give a shit about that comes from her is the fucking pig that comes in her fucking family line. It's absolutely disgusting. I can't stand the fucking pig. Pigs are disgusting, and we need to round them up and put them in concentration camps.
Oh, now we're gonna get shut down. I hope you're happy. That's the end of the show. I hope you guys
Call them like
enjoyed
prisons or something.
yourselves.
I don't know.
Put all the cops in jail. That's where we'll leave us tonight. Put all the cops in jail. No, I think
Damn.
that the Josh thing's really interesting. And like guys, when just like we said earlier, if you guys are interested in getting involved in that, like keep tuned in. We'll try and keep everything updated and reach out and touch us. We'll try and get you in contact with people, assuming the touching was consensual.
Can we just stop for a second and like what? Who the fuck is out there saying the police are the good guys?
There are a
Are you
lot of
fucking
people
with me?
doing
No,
that.
no, no,
Like,
no, no.
there's
Just
so many
hold the fuck
people.
on. Your fucking dad can be a fucking police officer, and I can guarantee you, whenever you're seeing the fucking red and blue lights behind your vehicle, you're not like, oh, well, I'm feeling a lot safer. My day is about to get a lot better. No, you're like, fuck this asshole. I was going 5 over. What the fuck does he want from me? Police are nothing but nuisances. They're here to fucking make you feel scared in your neighborhood. That is what they're there for. They're there to keep people in line. I can't tell.
Well, yeah, they're
Nobody
trained
sleeps.
to intimidate people. They're not trained to uphold the law. They aren't even trained long enough to know the law.
You have to look at how long it takes to be a police officer to how long it takes to be a lawyer. As long as they're not Jewish. Jewish lawyers take a lot. Anyway.
Oh, God.
The
That's it. We're done.
The whole deal with it, though, is that police are there to intimidate. That is the only. They are there to be secret police. They're there to make you scared, and we're seeing this in action right now with the corona stuff. Because who do people when nobody has a mask on? It's the police. They're not there to do anything as far as keeping people safe. They're there to intimidate people and make them obey. That is it. That they are the teachers of the real world. That is all it is. You remember how you fucking felt whenever you were fucking doing something that you shouldn't have been, or whether it was talking in class or something like that, not doing your homework, forgetting your homework, smoking weed in the fucking bathroom, what the fuck ever, and the teacher fucking walked up on you? That is the police now. Every single time you see their lights, that is the same situation. You could be doing absolutely nothing wrong, but you feel bad and you feel scared because you don't know. And that's the whole point I try to tell people when they're telling me that, that the police are the good guys. If you're doing nothing wrong, you have nothing to fear. The problem is, I can't tell you the number of cases I've
so
seen
much bullshit.
that they have made something up where they will pull me over and they can call a dog that is trained to fake hits just because they have to hit their fucking quotas that are illegal, but they still have them because police don't give a shit about the law. They give a shit about taking your money that you work hard for and giving it to the state where you're already taking taxes out of your paycheck every single fucking payday. They're still taking more from you.
And you can follow all the rules and do everything do everything right and stay inside the lines like Keith, and then end up
Keith
like
is
him.
an excellent example. Keith is a special forces fucking veteran. Keith has gone through all the channels to make sure that his hemp is 100% illegal. He was the first legal hemp farmer, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. If not the first, he was one of the largest in
industrial scale.
The largest industrial scale hemp farmer in the United States, and they still fucked him. They don't give a shit. They fucked him raw. No lube, no condoms. They fucked the shit out of him. They had police with fucking guns come up to his property, lock down his entire neighborhood to arrest him, and they can't fucking get charges on him. How long has he been going to court now?
A year and a half.
A year and a half. We have a veteran for all the people out there that are like, oh yeah, blue line, support the troops. Here's your fucking conundrum. This guy's special forces military, done everything legal. He's doing hemp to help cancer patients, and he's getting fucked by the police. He's getting fucked by the system. So choose your fucking side. Make a line in the sand. Is it more important to help cancer patients with hemp? Is it more important to do everything morally and ethically right? Or is it more important to support your local pig? You let me know. Let me know in the comments. I don't think anyone that supports pigs are in the fucking comments right now. But if you are, let me know your favorite flavor of bacon. Personally, I prefer pepper on mine.
Ugh. I like maple.
That's gay.
I mean, I'm a little gay.
You're a little gay.
Just a
You
little
are
bit.
a literal little gay.
Yes, I am small and I am gay.
Little gay.
Now that we have established that.
That should be your rapper name, Little Gay.
Little gay.
Little gay.
God damn it. You can't say that. I'd be shut down. Just like this fucking channel is going to be after tonight.
Yeah, I saw a lot of the no-nos.
Yeah, I better make sure that I download this shit quickly before we lose it.
Throw this up on BitChute real quick.
I gotta get it up on BitChute.
You know, where they actually give a shit about freedom of speech.
on
Not
library.
everything's Jimmy. What the fuck is his name? Jimmy. I want to say Carmel, but that's not right.
Kimmel?
Kimmel. Yeah.
Jimmy
Kimmel.
Kimmel.
I don't know why, but I always imagine him as just caramel popcorn.
Why? He's
I
not
don't
even
know.
caramel.
No, I know. It's not even remotely correct, but I just imagine like a bag of caramel popcorn with his like fucking face on one of the kernels, you know? I don't know.
No.
I think this is really
No.
good whiskey though.
Go home, Paxton. You're drunk.
Hmm.
Anyways, did you have anything that you wanted to add before we headed out? Like, what's next? We have aside from the Hajj, what's next with everything? Like, anything coming up that you might want to like shout out or anything like that?
Really, just in 2 weeks.
Aside
In 2
from
weeks, if we don't get indictments, if we don't get some kind of satisfaction of real work being put in, we would like to drop the names and let people know. You talk to these people. It's innocent until proven guilty. We get that, but it's public record. And so we're going to be bringing the names, the corporations who had what hemp, and you will get to know these people. The professional courtesy time is over, and so we really are hoping we can get some action in the next 2 weeks, and if not, then the next wave of status would be these are the dirty dogs, and get to know how they're hurting Americans, and they're hurting the global market of hemp. And China is taking over when America could be the leader in hemp, but our own elected officials are selling us out for money. We are losing our chance to break away and to be independent, and we are independent. So we need to get hemp in America on every farm, and not let China jack us around over and over again. So maybe we'll have the China edition, because again, the Epic Times are cowards. Keith went to their office, took photographs. It is a conservative paper, and they are protecting conservative politicians. That's why this is not being reported on. So we're going to name drop in 2 weeks. So we thank you for the opportunity.
All right, y'all. Get down in there and like and subscribe if you haven't done it already. And thanks for coming with us tonight. And I hope that you guys will share this video and get down in the links and come in contact with us. And letting you know that either tomorrow night or later on. Let me check real quick and see if I know for sure. Okay, so we were gonna do the Jim Jesus show episode tomorrow night, but we're gonna wait and push it back to next week because some stuff came up that we didn't really have much control over. So it's still gonna happen, but it's not gonna be till next week, and we'll probably see you all. I'll at least see you guys on Saturday when I go live stream the Liberty protest going on downtown here. Until then, I guess you guys be safe and you guys be free. This Mad LiberTEA time is adjourned.